All right, guys, PLC Voices Week 4, Season 10, Week 4 is here. We've got a couple more contributors again this year. Did I say that right? A couple more contributors. I feel like sometimes I get ahead of my skis when I'm talking. So we have a couple more contributors this week. It's Season 10, Week 4, PLC Voices. I hope you guys enjoy. See you in chat. Peace.
What's up, guys? It is Jay, also known as The Cleaner, with my little YouTube ass intro. This is going to be my first time contributing to Voices of the PLC. I'm very excited. I'm going to try to keep it a little shorter while I pull up the upcoming matchups on my laptop. But I'll just talk briefly just about the match I had with Bosch and then the moves I made for the wire this week. In regards to the match, I think Bosch played very well. Putting aside the whole Hariyama guts thing, I just forgot. I could have sworn that I changed it, but it turns out that I didn't. It's funny because I was going that whole day screaming with a bunch of different people, and I was like, maybe they just built the Pokemon a little buggy this time. But that happens. It's just a mistake. If anything, it's just reminders to double check your Pokemon before and just make sure you have everything all set. I thought I had it all set up, and I even checked my team before I went into the match when everyone was in the scrimmage channel. And I was telling some of the other guys, I was like, if I wasn't in the scrimmage channel, I would have been a little bit more hard on myself. But I think kind of being in that environment, just having everyone just there was very helpful because I wasn't as super hard on myself. Besides that, I thought the match was okay in terms of the way that I played. I think I could have played a lot better. I feel like I was too passive watching the match back. I should have used Snorlax a lot better. I feel like that could have been very helpful in that last kind of game state we had towards the end right there. The Staraptor choice card to the final Gambit was not something I was expecting, but maybe letting Jolteon take that hit was the good option. The reason why I switched that was because he threw the flying type in front of me, and I was like, this feels like an obvious Terra. But then I felt like he had Porygon too, so he maybe wanted to go for Trick Room. But, in hindsight, that's something that I wish I would have protected. I wish I would have protected Samurai and Snorlax better, because I think just having them towards the back end would have helped a lot. But props on Bosch, just because the bulk of Hariyama, instant pressure, just immediate pressure. From there, I knew that I didn't really have anything that could take it out. That's why I kind of had to play into Terra flying Jolteon. It's a good thing I put Terra Blast on it, because without that, I don't think I would have had any answer for it at all. But again, not too about the loss. Again, I thought it was -2. Looking back, it was -3. But it's still very early in the season, and I trust myself. I trust the team I've built to bounce back. So hopefully we bounce back. If not, then that's going to be very sad. But if anything, I'm having a good time. In regards to the wire, trading Samurott for Scizor, I really like Hisui and Samurott. The reason why I put it up for trade is because I just wanted to just keep everything fresh. Like, I could have kept it, and I think it would have made my team better, but overall I just feel like I want to use different things I've been wanting to use in the past seasons. Also just personal favorites of mine. So when JG hit me in my DMs, I was like, is Scizor available? Because I like Scizor. I've always wanted to use Scizor. It's either always on Ian's team, or it's just, I don't know, I just never really get a chance to use it. But Scizor is one of my favorites, probably one of my top 2 favorite Johto Pokemon of all time. So I just jumped at the availability, if that makes any sense. I jumped at the opportunity to pick it up, and I think the Bullet Punch is going to help a lot. I think it's also sneakily, what's the word I'm looking for, diverse in its move pool. It does one thing very well, but you can also do a bunch of cool things with it as well. And I really like Scizor, so that's the reason for that trade. Maybe down the line I'll get Samurott again, but I like the trade. I like it. in regards to my wire move, it was funny because I was talking with Zach and he was just like, do you want more things on your team that get destroyed by close combat? I have a very crazy fighting weakness. And part of me is like, on a competitive standpoint, Weavile wasn't the best option. There's a couple other things that I could have gotten on the wire, but again, I just like Weavile. I love the speed. I love the kind of run and gun kind of glass cannon playstyle that it has. And again, it's just Pokemon that I like. So, I mean, were there better moves? I'm not going to lie to you, there were. But I like Weavile, man. I like it. I love his design. I love that whole line. Sneasler. What the heck is it called? You see? And I forgot the Prevo. I was about to say Snivy, but I'm like, that's the Gen 5 starter. What is the Sneasel? Excuse me. You see, that's how you know it's been a long day. I was literally about to call Sneasel Snivy. You boys, we're doing okay. But in all seriousness, again, it's just Pokemon that I like. I like it. I like its play style, and I feel like I could do a little bit of damage with it. And again, it's still very early on in the season. For those of you who have watched the PLC podcast in the past, my motto is just get into playoffs. Once you get into playoffs, it doesn't matter what. Like, for standings and history, yeah, it's good to win. But as long as you get into those spots, those records just become null. You want the week off, that's a different story. I completely understand. But me, I've always just been a big fan of once I'm in there, anything can happen. Last year, I think I was like the 6th or 7th seed. I was like one of the lower seeds, I believe. And I ended up making it to finals. It's just things like that where as long as you get in there, it's a fresh start. But I'll spare you guys the speech. We're going on 6 minutes now, and I told myself I was going to make these super long, but I will go and look at the week 4 of the PLC. I'll go through some of my picks for the week. The first match being JG versus J Wade. It's going to be a very interesting match. I know J Wade's team isn't what he usually goes for, what he wants. He's been saying his team is trash. I think his team is okay. JG, I think, is going to come back with a little bit more ferocity, after losing to SB. It is a toss-up. I still have J Wade taking it by 3, but I wouldn't be surprised if JG sneaks out the W. Week 2 was my match against Mike, a rematch of last year's finals, so I think that should be exciting. Mike's a great player. He has a really solid team this year as well as expected. But I'm not going to pick myself to lose ever. So I'm going to go with myself. I'm going to go with myself by 2. We have Jalen and Brian. That should be an interesting matchup. No, don't really have many thoughts on this. I think, I think it'll be a good match. I got Brian by 3. I have Ty and Phil. Ty's really been on it this year. And in scrims, he's been really on it this year. And I think Phil... there's some potential there, but there's certain things he just has to clean up. I think the guys on stream kind of said it a little bit harsh, but they said it just overall, recognizing threats, making smart switches, just things like that. I'm going to go with Ty by 4. I had to take a little bit of a pause to cough real quick. But next we have Justin against Bosch. I'm going to go with Bosch just because, again, I thought he played our match very well. And I think his team is just a little bit better than Justin's this time around. So I'm going to go with Bosch by 3. Ian and Corey, for things that were spoken about on stream, I won't really get into them. I think this match could go either way. I still think Ian takes it because I think I like his team a little bit better. I'm going to go with Ian by 2. I have Selina going against Chris Speakman, of course. Selina played very well in the match against Brendan. I think there were numerous opportunities where she could have pushed the advantage a little bit more. But again, that just grows with the process of learning, adjusting, recognizing just a little bit more situational awareness. And that's something that even I struggle with. My match this past week was a perfect example of that. I do think Chris does take it. I think it's going to be a little closer than expected. I'm going to go with Chris by 2. Yeah, Brendan going against Jordan. Jordan's been doing really well this year. Last week was a very big statement win for this year. Brendan, I think, is going to be maybe a little more motivated just because, again, he was a little stressed out during his match against Selina. So we'll see. I still think Jordan takes it. I think Jordan takes it by 3. We have the Battle of the Monarchs. Will never refer to it as that. I will call it the Battle of the Champs. We have Reese going against Zach. This is going to be interesting because they're both. Well, I think, Reese is coming off a loss, which is unusual for him, just the margin of the loss. I believe let me just check while I have it here. 4-0. Very unusual for Reese. I don't know. Maybe he's gonna be looking out for a little bit of revenge this upcoming week. Zach's always solid. He had a nice bounce back win after his loss to Jay Wade. So I think it's gonna be very close. I'm still leaning. It's just tough. I'm looking at both their teams right now. I'm leaning a little bit more towards a Reese, but this could go either way. This is tough. I'm gonna go with. Every time I bet on the Reese, he loses. So I'm gonna go with Zach. I'm gonna go with Zach by 2 this time, and then that means the Reese is probably gonna win. But let's see. And then for the last match, I believe we have Dan SB. I think Dan is gonna take it. I think Dan's gonna take it by. Go with Dan by 4. I think Dan's really on it this year. He's always pretty solid. I think SB has a couple things, little shenanigans he can do with his team, but overall, I think Dan is just the better team and overall just a more well-rounded player. I'm gonna end it here just because, again, I tried to make it short and we're going on 11 minutes, so I will work on that next time. I am so sorry, but again, I hope to see you guys in chat and scrims, and we'll see if I hop on again next week. Bye.
We had 2 weeks of the PLC that we don't talk about. They don't exist. We had a week 3 battle last week, freaking Thursday night. Everybody got together on Discord in Cole, and Brandon, he streamed it on his end, which was really cool, and everybody talked about it and got to watch it. Once again, first off, thank you to all of you who watched it. It was a really great time, and I hope it's something we can keep doing whenever there's, well, a chance to it. We lost that one 1-0, and well, Jordan got that one right, so good for him. But now we are looking towards week 4, and we are facing Chris, and well, I mean, he does not like his team very much, or so it seems anyway. But either way, his team is extremely scary, and there is definitely some things when I look at his team that, like, it's like gonna be the main thing to get around. There's like slacking, which normally has Truant, but he also has Wheezing with neutralizing gas, and that means that Truant cannot be removed, or Truant will be removed. So Truant isn't a factor. That's what I meant. So I'm gonna have to think of a way around that. It's not like last season where when I played Phil, I had Spectrier to cripple it with Will-O-Wisp. So Truant was still a factor, but even when Slacking got to attack, it definitely was not hitting as hard. Again, thanks to Will-O-Wisp. I do not have that luxury this season, but another thing I noticed is that his team does not like Trick Room very much, so Trick Room might be the way to go. We'll see. Either way, I'm really excited for this. Lost 1-0 last week, and that week I think came down to actually me. Speaking of Trick Room, like, it came down to whether I set up Trick Room or not, and yeah, okay. Didn't get to set it up, and freaking the Dunsparce ended up outspeeding me, and well, taking me out there. But I lost that 1-0, but it came really close, and definitely was one of the more enjoyable battles I've had in all of PLC. Also, like, was really fun that, like, everybody got on call and got to watch it as we played. But yeah, but as I said, we're looking towards playing Chris this week, and we'll see if his team is as shit as he says. because looking at it, it's definitely scary. But we'll do our best. So yeah, so it's. Guess there's nothing more to say, but prep hard and play hard. And as I've said in previous weeks to everybody else, also in the PLC, good luck with your matches. This has been Selina, coach of the Area Zero All-Stars, signing off.
Yo, what's going on, PLC family? Happy week 4. And can you believe technically we're already 25% done with the season? You know, it's 12 weeks. Well, I guess there's a midweek, but yeah, I mean, it's 12 weeks, 12-week regular season. We've done 3. That's 25%. Can you freaking believe it? That's insane. But yeah, it's week 4, and I'm going to change things up. So I've been doing picks each week. For the last 3 weeks, I've made picks for every battle. I'm 14-6 through 2 weeks, so 14 correct calls, 6 incorrect. I made picks last week, so I will have those results today, but I'm actually going to retire that bit because it's not as fun as I would have liked it to be. Well, actually, it's not that it's not fun. I just have a better idea. That's going to be a better use of your time if I'm being honest. I was going to say if I think, but if I'm being completely honest, I think that this new bit is going to be a little better. So I'm excited to do that instead. And we'll get into that in 1 second. Let's just talk about week 3 results real quick, just because we did the picks. We might as well, share results. So I made picks. Again, I was 14-6 after 2 weeks. And I am now 21-9 because last week I made 7 correct calls, 3 incorrect calls. And let's just jump right in real quick. So I called Mike beating Brian. Brian did, in fact, win. From what I had seen, it was a close game because it went to time, and I think Brian ended up getting a +2. But yeah, Brian wins that. So props to Ryan. You made me incorrect on the week to start the week. Thanks. I appreciate that. But no, and then Brendan, I picked Brendan to win. Brendan won. I picked Corey, myself, to win. Corey and I both won. And actually, I beat Aris, which again, Aris was on a 14-game win streak in the regular season. So for me to come out on top there, I'm excited. It's kind of cool. So, and Aris is a really talented player, 4-time champion. And yeah, it was pretty cool. I had to bust out some crazy tech to do it. And I honestly could have gotten beat in turn 1 had he run a scarf and then won the speed tie, and it was a wrap for me. But luckily he went specs, I think he said, and I was scarfed, which was, it paid off. So yeah, it could have been a very bad battle from my perspective had he had scarf and again won that speed tie, and it wouldn't even have been a speed tie because I think I was modest Blastoise, so he probably would have just outsped, and then I could have lost everything pretty quickly, which would have sucked. But I did win there, so that was exciting. But then Ty won. I called Jay Wade to win. Ty did win. So he, again, thanks Ty, appreciate that, making me look stupid. SB won. Great job. Ian, Dan, they both won as well. Zach won, and then Bosch beat Jay. So Jay, you officially ended my picks segment by giving me the loss. I appreciate that. Thank you. But I was 7-3 last week, 21-9 overall after 3 weeks. And again, I'm going to retire the bit, so I'm going to stop there at 21-9. I'll take those wins and those 9 losses. Thanks, guys. I appreciate that. But yeah, that bit is done and it's over. And I've kind of already talked about my week 3 match with Aris, so I don't really think there's anything more to say about that. Just that tech, though. That tech was super cool. I'm super excited about that. I'm glad I got to pull it off, and it worked. It worked like a charm, so that was really fun. But all right, so here's what we're going to do. I've been going for 3 minutes, and I'm going to use the rest of my time, so 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes, to talk about week 4 and the matchups that stand out to me, as well as dive into some history with those matchups. So that being said, let's just go down the list. There's one that kind of spoke to me that I kind of did a little more research into. And then actually, now that I'm looking, there are a couple really good matches this week. Okay, here we go. So let's just jump right in. Sakuna and Jay Wade, that'll be a good match. I can actually speak to the history of everybody. I don't know if I'll do that for every one of them. I just don't want some matches to feel like they're less important, because they're not. It's just that some matches don't necessarily have the history that the others do. So I'm just going to glance real quick. I may not do this for every one of them. But Jay Wade and Sakuna where they haven't played actually. So this is their first matchup ever. So that's kind of cool actually. Now that I think about it. So maybe I'll do my homework a little bit more before I hop on the phone and start recording. But yeah, this is their first matchup ever, so that'll be kind of cool. Yeah, that's establishing history right here, live in real time. That's exciting. So the next matchup though is crazy. It's Jay and Mike. Jay and Mike. It's a rematch from season 9 finals, where Mike won. It was the Battle of the Young Bucks. This is a named rivalry. So it's kind of cool to see. They both started playing. Jay started, basically he was, right there from inception. He just didn't play in season 1, but he was there season 2, and he's been with us since then. Mike, season 1 OG. So these are, they were young when we started too. They were both in college, and it's just the Battle of the Young Bucks. They're both young bucks, and they battled last year in finals, and Mike did get his first championship off of that matchup. It's cool to see. So this is a really cool matchup. I did look into this one a little bit, and Mike and Jay, they've squared up in the regular season. I wanted to say 6 times. Hold on, let's see. Yep, 6 times. Mike has won 4 of those matchups. Jay has come out victorious in 2 of those. And then in playoffs, Mike has bested Jay 4 times, and Jay has beaten Mike once. So overall, Mike does lead this matchup 8-3, and they play again this week. So that's the kind of history that's really cool. I feel like that's so much cooler than saying, I think Jay's going to win. I think Mike's going to win. I feel like diving into the history is really, really awesome. So Jay and Mike, they match up this week, rematch of season 9 finals. Super excited to see how this plays out. Jalen and Brian, I'm not sure if you guys have the history. Again, I'll have more research done next week as I get into each matchup individually. But I just thought about this like 5 minutes before I started recording, and I was like, let's do that instead. And then Ty and Phil, again, we'll dive in more next week, and I'll have better details, I guess. Justin and Bosch. Bosch, this is his rookie year, so I have no doubt in my mind that they've never matched up because this is Bosch's 4th battle of his PLC career. So Justin and Bosch go at it. Ian and Corey, this will be fun. Do they have history? I feel like Corey has played a season or 2 with us, and I have Ian's details right here because I'm at the top of the spreadsheet. They've played once, and Ian has won. So I'm not sure what season that was, but Ian has beaten Corey once, and they match up again this week. Selina and Speakman. So Speakman still, getting not acclimated to the, I guess acclimated is the right word, acclimated to the season, not necessarily the PLC, because he's been here for so long. But just kind of getting back into the swing of things with the battles and taking over a team that wasn't his. And, he played Dan last week. I think they played live on, the Thursday night Battle Royale, which was cool. Come join us this Thursday. It'll be fun again, I'm sure. But yeah, Dan kind of busted out all the stops and got that dub. So Speakman's still looking for his first dub on the year, and we'll see if it comes against Selina. Selina has, voiced her displeasure with being 0-3 right now, and she actually played Brendan last week, again, Thursday night Battle Royale, great time, and played a really good match. And she got a crit to end the game, she could have won, but unfortunately just lost by 1. So she's playing well. I say that to say that she's playing well. Speakman looking for his first dub. Selina technically looking for her first dub on the year as well. We'll see how that plays out. And then Brendan and myself. So this one is another one that kind of jumped out to me. Actually, there's the next 2 are pretty good. So Brendan and I will say it here officially. Brendan and I have a little bit of a rivalry, and I think it's cool. I think PLC rivalries are awesome. And the reason I say that is because Brendan and I, we played in season 6, I think. I'm going to actually pull this up because season 5 I won, and then season 6, Brendan knocked me out of playoffs in the play-in round, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, we were in the Armor Conference, and we were both in the play-ins, and he did. Season 6, he knocked me out of playoffs in the play-ins, and I will forever resent him for that. And there's a little pause, because I think he beat me again in playoffs. I'm looking at season 7 real quick. Season 7... No, I went to finals. Oh, I knocked him out of playoffs in the semifinals in season 7. So that's just more history there. So season 5, I win. Season 6, I'm in the play-in round. Brendan beats me. Season 7, Brendan is the 6 seed. I'm the 2 seed. He wins his matchup against Dan in round 1. I win my matchup against Mike in round 1, and we meet in semifinals, and I beat him 2-1, and I go on to lose to Zach, which sucks. But I thought that was kind of cool. And I think that's where our playoff history ends. Season 8, I can just glance real quick. I don't think we actually matched up again in the play-in round. See, again, that's why I say that it's a rivalry, and I'll say it. You heard it here, well, maybe not here first, but you've heard it here officially. We were in the play-in round in Season 8, and Brendan beat me again in Season 8, which is crazy. And in Season 9, I missed playoffs, so we don't talk about that. So I know we didn't match up in playoffs in Season 9. But yeah, we've had 3 straight seasons from 6, 7, 8. So those couple years where we matched up in playoffs, Brendan beat me. After I was coming off of a championship, I beat him the next year in semifinals, and then he beat me in play-ins the next year, which is crazy. So the history that Brendan and I have, we have played a total of 500 times. Now, we played 3 times in the regular season. I beat him twice. He's beat me once. We played 5 times. Well, we've had a couple sets in the playoffs. I beat him twice. He's beat me 3 times, and we just went through that history. So overall, I've won 4 matches. He's won 4 matches against me. So, again, I think this is a rivalry. I think it's super cool. So, just having that history is freaking awesome. And then speaking of history, so the very next matchup is Reese and Zach. So, this is your 1A, 1B. So, we were talking earlier this year, and it's like, who's the champion of the PLC? The champion. And then who's in the Elite Four and gym leaders and all that stuff. But it was like the champion is either Reese or Zach. It's 1A, 1B. If you have a Reese at 1A and Zach at 1B, you're not wrong. If you have Zach at 1A and a Reese at 1B, you're not wrong. Okay? That's who's matching up this week. So Reese and Zach, Reese with 4 championships, Zach with 3 championships. They are nice. They are, again, the PLC champions. And the resume kind of speaks for itself. Historically, just because we're here, Reese and Zach have played, they've played 8 times in the regular season. Reese has won 2. Zach has won 6. But in the playoffs, Reese has won twice to Zach's 0. So that to me looks like Reese must have swept a playoff series, if I had to guess, because they're not typically in the play-in round. So it looks to me like they've matched up once, and Reese has won that matchup. So Reese overall wins, has 4. Zach has 6. And they match up this week. So PLC champions, 1A, 1B going at it. So it's exciting to see that go down. And then Dan and SB, I'm not sure if they have the history. They've both been playing for a while, so I'll just scroll right here really quickly. Gurr, undefeated in PLC history. Wild stuff. Let's see. I'm just curious. And again, next week this is going to go a little smoother just because it's not going to be in real time. But Dan and SB, they've played each other 5 times. Dan has won 2 of those matchups. SB has won 3. And I did want to look because they've been around for a long time each. And I know they both, they've made playoffs pretty consistently. SB having that finals run in season 5. So I just wanted to see if they have any playoff history, but they don't. So, they're adding another chapter to their regular season battles. And it'll be interesting to see who comes out on top. So I think this is a lot cooler. I think it's going to go a lot smoother next week. It's going to be a little faster next week, and I'll have some better details for everybody's match next week because I'm not going to be doing the research in real time. But yeah, that's what I want to do with my PLC Voices segments going forward, and I hope you guys like that. I hope you have fun with it. I hope you enjoy. And that's all for now. So I will see you guys in chat. Peace.